All right, this is Second Peter chapter 3 and verse 13. It says, "Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness." All right. So I want to start off this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth, and shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, the Yakim and the Yaquaf that have returned to the obedience of the scriptures in these latter days through faith in who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right, who we know as Yahweh Shai. All right, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick verse breakdown. All right, through the Spirit, I want to touch on this verse. All right, and as I just read, it's Second Peter chapter 3 and verse 13. All right, because the primary takeaway from this precept is to essentially you know do what we've been doing, um, and do what we've been called to do. All right, which is essentially, all right, be occupied in prophecies. All right, and hasten the day of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, the whole reason we have been woken up. All right, the whole reason this great awakening, if you will, has taken place. All right, is so that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai could receive his praise and his glory. All right, upon his return. You know, so I'm gonna start off with that. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. This is Sirach chapter 39. This is Sirach chapter 39 and verse 1, and it reads, it says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecy." Right? And again, it says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High." All right. And even now, all right, even now, all the way here in Babylon the Great, okay, as Israelite foreigners, all right, that have returned, to our, heritage through the Spirit. When you meditate on the law, statutes, and commandments, really, it makes you feel condemned through the Spirit, right? Because we can't keep the laws, all right, and the law is most definitely not being, utilized in today's world. All right, it's being completely disregarded. All right, and set to the wayside by the powers to be. All right, so if you're thinking about, the law, statutes, and commandments, all right, really that should take you to prophecy anyway, right? And it should take you to Yahweh Shah, because Yahweh Shah is the one who's going to facilitate, all these prophecies taking place on the planet Earth. All right, so it starts there. All right, let me go back. Let's read. Let's go back and read. And we're going to just break this precept down, through the Spirit. All right, it says, "Nevertheless, we, according to his promise." All right, and who is that we talking about? All right, because you know, when the scriptures are, addressing, you know, the reader, all right, it's mentioning a specific people group, a specific nation of people. It's not addressing the entire world. All right. And a matter of fact, just to prove that, let's get we'll jump back to this, but let's get First Peter, right? Because this is Peter speaking. All right. So you have to know who he's addressing. This is First Peter chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, "Peter, an apostle of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach," right? And that word apostle means sent forth, or one sent forth. So Peter, right, sent forth of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. All right. So when it says to the strangers, all right, it's going into those Israelites that were scattered amongst these particular, regions. All right. And the scripture you can use to prove that is James 1:1. All right, because James 1:1, the apostle James said this said the same thing. All right, just in a different way. This is James 1:1. It says, James, a servant of Yahushua Hamashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. All right, so that precept, those precepts you can use hand in hand because essentially they're both saying the same thing, right? They both had an understanding that they were Israelites, even during that time, scattered all the way over to this side of the world. All right, and in order for the end to come, the word would have to go get all the way, to the ends of the earth. All right, and that prophecy has been fulfilled in these times through the creation of the internet. All right, so let's go back to 2 Peter 3:13. It says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, right? So we addressed that we is talking about Israelites, all right? Not everybody, right? Because not everybody received the promise, right? And specifically, that promise was given to Abraham and that promise was passed down to Isaac and then to Jacob. Okay, but let's prove that. This is Psalms chapter 105, and I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, O ye children of Jacob, his chosen. All right, so again, that's who these scriptures are for. That's who this gospel is to. All right, the children of Jacob, his chosen, the Israelites. Verse 7, it says, He is the Lord our power. His judgments are all in the earth. He hath remembered his covenant forever, the word which he hath commanded to 1,000 generations. All right, and that word which he commanded, that covenant that is speaking of, is synonymous with the promise. All right. And a matter of fact, we're gonna go get that word promise in 2 Peter 3 just to prove that. Let's go and get that real quick. Bear with me. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13, and that word promise in the Greek, it says epengelma. Epengelma. It says a promise. Let's get the root word. It says epengelomai. That's the root word. It says to announce that one is about to do or furnish something, to promise of one's own accord, to engage voluntarily. All right. It says to engage to do something. All right. And again, it's all spiritual because as we're reading these definitions, this can all be linked to Abraham. All right. The Most High, engaged Abraham voluntarily. Why? Because he was of, that chosen lineage. All right. That went all the way back up to Noah through Shem. All right. And we are engaged. It says to engage, right? The nation of Israel, is engaged, if you will, to Yahweh Shem Shah. We are the ones who he, made a covenant with, an agreement. Okay, that's why the scriptures talk about, they liken the church unto being, that chaste virgin. All right, that the wife or the woman of Yahweh Shem Shah, right? And that's why the scriptures also talk about, the marriage, all right, the marriage of the Lamb. All right, it's all connected. All right, and it's all really just telling the story of, Yahweh Shah, the only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father, and his bride, which is really the elect. All right. So this is back in 2 Peter 3:13. It says, Nevertheless, we according to his promise. Right. So let's go back to Psalms 105 and keep going. Psalms 105 and verse 8. It says, He hath remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham in his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to the Israel for an everlasting covenant. All right, so the nation of Israel, right, is forever, engaged, is forever, connected to Yahweh Shem Shah. All right. And the scriptures talk about, I believe it's Exodus, I want to say Exodus 24, right, where it goes into the blood that was shed, the sacrificial animals that were slain, because blood consummates a covenant, and then even in ancient times, when a man and woman would come together, he would break her hymen, all right, he would spill her blood, and that's what would consummate um, the marriage, and it would also be the sign of a virginity, all right, the sign that she was untouched, all right. So we are forever connected to Yahweh Shem Shah, all right, and even on on another level, the blood of Yahweh Shah was spilled, right, through the sacrifice that he made, offering his body a living sacrifice. That was the blood that was needed, to take us, all right, to the next glory, all right, the next covenant, all right, which we are not in, right, which we are, hoping to be ushered into, upon his return, all right, and being changed. All right, so let's go back. 2 Peter 3:13. It says, "Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness." Right. So let me look up this word "look," right? Because it says we look for a new heavens and a new earth. That word "look" in the Greek Strong's G 4328, it says to expect, right? Whether in thought, in hope, or in fear. All right. It says to watch, to anticipate. All right. So that's what we're doing. All right. The only thing we're concerned with at this particular moment is prophecy, man. Is the things that are getting ready to happen on the planet Earth, because we know it all leads to what? It all leads to Yahweh Shai. It all leads to him cracking the skies, cracking the clouds, all right, and setting up the kingdom of heaven. All right, and that's a beautiful thing, but it's also a fearful thing, right? That's why it mentions fear, when you get this word, all right, because ultimately we're all gonna have to actually stand in front of Yahweh Shem Shai. We're gonna have to stand in the presence of, all right, Yahweh Shem Shai and the angels. All right. So let me read this verse again. It says, 2 Peter 3:13, it says, "Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth." All right. And that term, that wordage or verbiage, I should say, new heavens and a new earth, is a direct reference to Isaiah 65:17. We'll get that, right? Because when you're reading the New Testament, when you're reading the epistles, all right, from Paul and from the other apostles, James, Peter, okay, they're referencing Old Testament scriptures. All right, they weren't just freestyling, all right, making up stuff. No, they were referencing, Old Testament scriptures. All right, Yahushua himself referenced, the book of Isaiah, for example. All right, and that's why the scriptures talk about, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. Yahushua mentioned that. All right. And not only did it mention Yahweh Shah, all right, and his coming, right, his birth that 2,000 years ago, but the scriptures also give us visions and give us illustrations of the Lord's kingdom, all right, and him facilitating the kingdom. Okay, this is Isaiah 65:17. It says, "For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind." Right. So this entire world, this world system, right? Because this is not talking about the earth being destroyed, right? The scriptures say the earth is inhabited forever. All right. The earth is inhabited forever. Okay. The Lord is not going to just destroy the entire planet Earth. All right. That's that misery loves company spirit. You know, the earth is still going to be here, right? The plants are still going to be here, the animals. All right. But everything is going to be rejuvenated. All right. Everything is going to be brought back to its proper state. All right. So this is Isaiah 65:17. It says, "For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, The former shall not be remembered, nor come to mind. Right. So nobody's gonna remember what shit was like, right, when America, was running the show. Nobody's gonna remember this shit. All this is gonna be a nightmare, all right, and a bad, memory. All right. It says, verse 18, it says, "But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create." Right. And you should be in that spirit right now. You should be anticipating, you should be hastening, righteousness being established here on the planet Earth. If that's not the spirit, and that includes all the parts of the scriptures that you may not necessarily like right now, all right, or make you feel weird, right? You got to get over all that shit. All right. Ultimately, we should be wanting what Yahweh Shem Shai wants. And if you're not in alignment with that, you need to pray, right, and do whatever you need to do to get in alignment with it, or pray for mercy, pray for grace. Because ultimately this is his show. It's not our show. All right. It says, verse 18, it says, "But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy." Right. So at the forefront of that new heavens and earth, of the new heavens and the new earth, at the forefront of that is going to be the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans being brought back to your former state. All right, being at the head, at the top of the totem pole, so to speak. All right, those things go hand in hand. Okay, so Lord's willing, um, this was edifying. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Akakodash, Shalom.